All right, I'd like to start out by saying Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Kodash. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is Everyone is speaking about the M.O.T.B except, the ones that should be talking about it, like Bishop Nathaniel and General Yohana and others that deny that the M.O.T.B is the micro C-hip. Just bear with me 1 second. So I gotta fix this thing here. And what you're looking at here on your TV, on your smartphone or computer or whatever it is that you're looking at, is pretty much the interview that Noel G had on Drink Champs, right? I watched the whole thing. I had it on speed play. And I pretty much, you don't have to waste your time watching it. I mean, they were talking about, pretty much a lot of the movies that he was in, and I didn't realize he was in that many movies, but they spoke about a lot of different things, different, events that took place and, different encounters that he had with different people. He did speak about the boxing, how, it was corrupt. He's really pretty much fell out of love with boxing because of the corruption in it, so on and so forth. But if you want to get to the meat of it, you could start about 2 hours and 21 minutes in, pretty much towards the end of the interview. That's really when he started going in, about 2:21:40 around there, but you could start around 2:21, so you don't 2 hours 21 minutes, so you don't miss anything. And pretty much the main clip that you heard is pretty much what is pretty much the main part of it. He spoke about a few other things. He spoke about a movie. He said American Faces of Freedom or something like that. Which Jake can't get shit right. And what he was talking about was the documentary that Aaron Russo did, America from Freedom to Fascism, which we have here. America from Freedom to Fascism. That was Aaron Russo. He's the one that produced that. And this is the movie that pretty much got him connected or hooked up to with Nick Rockefeller. When he saw this, he said he liked this guy. So that's pretty much what started that meeting. All right. So from freedom to America, from America, freedom to fascism. And this is on YouTube. I had actually found it on YouTube. So you can go to YouTube and type this in, America, freedom to fascism. It's 1 hour, 45 minutes. It's a documentary pretty much going into the whole Federal Reserve system and the corruption of it, But like I said, in this interview here, if you want to, skip all of the other stuff, just go to 2 hours and 21 minutes and watch from there. And then you'll get, the main gist. And like I said, you already heard the main thing. Those of you that have watched Elder Apostle Gabar's video, Elder Apostle Tar's video, and others out there, So, but everyone is talking about the M.O.T.B except for the ones that should be talking about it, which are supposed to be the prophets, like Bishop Nathaniel and General Yohana and others. You have other groups out there that's still fighting and denying that the M.O.T.B is the micro C-hip, and all of the evidence is out there. Now, the brother from the New York camp, Brother Quanah Watt, the one that helps me with the Benjaminite brother that helps me with the calendar, he sent me this on X, which is a channel called Sumping Hunk. Let's see if it comes up. Just bear with me. I want to share this with you because this is the future of the world under the M.O.T.B system if the people do not comply with the system. All right. It says China imprisoned 30 million people in quarantine camps. Focus on exposing the social credit scoring system, China's surveillance state. And when you look down here, there is an actual video of the people in China that are locked out of the system because their social credit scores, do not meet the standard. and these are the ones that are like somewhat rebelling, or they rebel, or are not, tapped in all the way. And this is what happens. And this is pretty much what the so-called elite want to bring to the world. They're using China as an example of the world that they want to bring in, a dystopian world that they want to bring in. And we've been talking about this over and over again, and it's going to happen, and it's happening because it's prophecy. Now, here it says in China, all citizens are required to have biometric digital IDs linked to the country's vast AI-powered surveillance grid, which includes hundreds of millions of facial recognition cameras. It says these are comments. Personally, I strongly oppose this practice. After the typhoon, the water and electricity were cut off. Chinese people desperately wanted to charge their phones because all your money is in your mobile phone. Without a mobile phone, you can't even buy a piece of bread. See? So this is why they want, all this stuff in you. And then when you act up, they're going to cut you off. All right? And this is the model for the NWO. Right here, we'll read it again. Yes, China's cashless system, primarily power. So if it's a cashless system and the power goes out, or they turn your device off, you won't be able to operate. Now with cash, you can still operate, but with these devices that they have, they're purposely doing it for total control. Like AJ told Aaron Russo in that interview, total control. And that's what they want, to bend people to their will. Otherwise this is what will happen to them. They'll be out there on the street starving, homeless, and then from what I understand, they're gathering them up too. So it's a lose-lose situation for the world. The only ones that's going to win in this situation are the elect of the nation of Israel. All right. So I got a couple of precepts. Habakkuk 2, right? So it's going to go straight to the point. Verse 3, for the vision is yet for an appointed time. And that appointed time, ladies and gentlemen, or gentlemen and ladies, has arrived. We're in the midst of this. It's coming, it's here. It's here. And it's just going to increase and get worse and worse. The digital system, stable coin or Bitcoin or whatever they're pushing, digital IDs, all of these are just ways of getting the system in place so that they can bring in and bring in the actual thing that they want to bring in, which is the M.O.T.B, which is the micro chip. Why? Because the vision is yet for an appointed time, right? We're in that appointed time, but at the end it shall speak. So we're seeing it speak how? By the events taking place and the system or the infrastructure being rolled out. This digital infrastructure that's being rolled out, to put everyone on the grid biometrically. That's why everything is biometrics. That's why they got people conditioned to use their thumbprint to unlock their phone, or use their iris scan to unplug their phone or to unlock their phone. Why? Because everyone is being conditioned for the world that's coming, that they want to bring in. This total dystopian world to everyone, to the masses of the people, but a utopian world to the so-called elite. You see? And that's what the Lord said, when that time comes, the Lord is going to, when he's about to enjoy the fruits of his demonic labor, the Lord is going to he's going to cut him off. It says, and not lie, right? Because it's not going to lie, because why? It's prophecy. We have a more sure word of prophecy. The prophecy is sure. It was just a matter of time and chance happiness, right? To all men, it was just a matter of time before the vision would start speaking. And we're in the vision speaking right now. This is why you see all of these things rolling out. It says, though it tarry, meaning though it seems like it takes a long time, wait for it. Yeah, because back in the 90s, back in the early 2000s, there were things rolling out, happening a little here and there, but nothing on the level that you see today from 2020 until now. Within the last 5 years, this whole infrastructure, of the M.O.T.B has been rolled out. This digital plan that these devils have for the future has been rolled out within the last 5 years. So they got the system in place already. All they have to do now is, put this device in the people, and it's over. And that's why you have different nations out there, England, and I believe India was another one, and a few others that are saying now you have to get this digital ID. Remember, they've been pushing that real ID in America for the longest. Because this is what they're going to do. The corner people, back people into a corner to comply to the system. Now, these digital IDs and all that, that's not the M.O.T.B. But at the end of the day, it's leading into it. Because once they get people to digitally identify themselves, then they can just bring in the final step, which will be the micro C-HIP. And after that, all bets are off. And that's why in this documentary on Drink Champs with Noel G, he pretty much was laying it down, which shows you that everybody's talking about it. And he mentioned the documentary America, Freedom to Fascism by Aaron Russo. He didn't mention Aaron Russo, then he said, America Faces of something. Jake just can't get it right, but he knows a little something. He's tapped into what's going on as far as the future of money, as far as the future of the world, which is a goddamn shame, because you have men out there that call themselves leader of the nation of Israel that refuse to accept and to see this. Now, either the Lord blinded them, which they have no choice, or they sold out, which they have no choice. But either way, this system is here, and it's not going to go away. It's only going to get more and more intense. And as each day goes by, these people out here are catching pure hell. They're starting to feel the very beginning stages of hyperinflation. Things are getting unbearable out here for a lot of these people. They're catching it left, right, and center. All right, let's go real quick. Let's finish this up. Let's see. It says, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. So we're in the point now where it's not tarrying. It's speaking loud and clear. And this is the reason why the Lord gave Esau the technology, knowledge shall increase, Daniel 12:4, to be able to put this, pretty much put the Urim and the Thummim, which is ancient, technology, to put it in a way to where people can access it, like we're accessing it today. Those of you that's on your smartphone, computers, or whatever the case may be, we're all accessing the Urim and the Thummim. All right, this is ancient technology that the Lord allowed Esau to tap into. You had M.O.T.B, which was I believe he was Nigerian. He's the one that pretty much came up with the concept of the web, by watching and just studying, honeycombs, to show you how talented Jake is. And they saw that the honeycomb was interconnected. Everywhere you went, everything was interconnected. So he got the idea to build this thing from a honeycomb. Look at that. That's why it says, ask the beast and they shall teach thee. You see? So this is 2nd Ezra 6:20. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished. So when we're at the end of this man's system, then will I show these tokens. The Lord is going to show certain signs. That's why I said the vision is for an appointed time. But at the end, it shall speak. So the prophecies are speaking. The books shall be open. What books? The Bible. Everybody opens the books, right? But what does this talk about? This is talking about the technology of the internet. It says the books shall be open before the firmament. And what is the firmament? The ozone layer. Another preset popped in my mind. Let me just get that real quick. Just bear with I. Okay. It says the book shall be opened before the firmament, which is the what? The ozone layer. What do you have up there in the ozone layer? You have satellites, right? And then you have satellites on the earth that communicate with those satellites in orbit. And what they do is they broadcast signals one to the other, and then one shoots one signal to another, and the other one shoots many signals out so that the world can see everything that it's seeing. You know, so if this right here, if this video right here, you know, would reach, you know, if this video right here, well, let me put it this way: this video right here, everyone in the world could see it if they had internet, if they were all tapped into this one video. So you would have over 8 billion views on this video if the whole world was watching this video. And this is an astonishing amazement that the Lord gave to these devils as a technology to push forth his word. And this is what we're witnessing right now. And through this technology that Esau built is what's destroying it, because it's what's waking up the rest of the elect around the world of the nation of Israel. You know? So it backfired on them. That's why J. Rockefeller said the internet should never have been invented. And there was another devil that said something similar to that. I forget his name. I don't know if it was Lieberman or something like that. One of those devils said something similar. But the most profound one was J. Rockefeller, because he's tapped all the way in, because he's one of those top banking families, the Rockefellers, underneath the Rothschilds, which really there's information out there that the Rockefellers are nothing more than the Rothschilds, just under a different name. You know, it says, the book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. And that's what we're witnessing right now. What are they seeing? They're seeing the truth, you know, of what's going on, and this whole M.O.T.B system. This is why people are tapping in and talking about, everybody's talking about the M.O.T.B system being the micro C here, except for the ones that should be speaking about it, which are supposed to be prophets. You know, it's unfucking believable, but it is what it is. So Psalms 19:1, brothers and elders are already tapped in. The heavens declare the glory of the Most High, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. And we're seeing it right now through these signals that are being broadcasted from the earth to the sky, and from the sky back into your living room, or to your job, or into your car, or you may be sitting at the park, or you may have some earphones on, maybe sitting at a restaurant eating and watching the video while you're eating. This is the technology that the Lord said would be happening to show forth the signs of the end of this man's kingdom. Because when you read 2 Ezra, the 6th chapter, it said that Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. And then it gave you a series of things that would happen. Al Gore, 1999 statement, that he took the initiative in creating the internet. Nah, I don't think that's it. You know, in the creation of this internet is what's really destroying or destructuring Esau. It says day unto day utter a speech, and you see it every day. There's videos going up, and the dynamic of the everyday videos and this plethora of videos going on was through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, through the Holy Spirit that jumped on Elder Pastor to push that spirit out there to do videos and do videos and do videos and do videos and do videos. And you see it's a juggernaut. The Elder Pastor does so many videos, I can't even watch any other video. Sometimes I have to just push myself away from watching his video so I could get a chance to watch some of the other brothers' videos. You know, I had to unplug from that because it's impossible to keep up with all of the videos. You know, and you want to see what other brothers are saying too, in different points and different, you know, news and all of that, you know, but just one brother alone is so much information you can't watch all of their videos. Because we're at the end, man, and it's speaking. So why here it is? You got this man right here, Noel G. He can see that the micro chip is the M.O.T.B, but you have prominent leaders in Israel. Bishop Nathaniel, General Yohana, that can't see it. Something going on. I mean, either the Lord got a deep sleep on you or you sold out. Because at this point, there's no fucking way that you can't see this. Especially those of you that have the mind to go into the scriptures, to go into the different words in the Hebrew and the Greek and be able to discern, oh, damn, yeah, this is talking about, carving it. Oh, wow, So something going on. G Money know what's going on. Nobody know nothing. Inside joke. G Money know what's going on. So back to Psalms 19. It says day and 2, day unto day utter his speech, and night unto night showeth knowledge. Right. Some of you are on the other side of the world. And when it's daytime here, it's nighttime over there. And you could watch videos in the nighttime over there or over here. The scriptures speak about the watchmen that will never hold their peace day or night. It says, there is no speech, no language where their voice is not heard. Right. Because you have closed caption. Then you have, you have different apps now that you can play. I'm not an expert at it. You could play and you could play something in one language and it'll translate it into your language. This is all technology that the Lord gave these devils to push this word. This is why you have people in the Philippines calling on the name of Yahweh Shai. You have people in Japan calling on the name of Yahweh Shai. You have people all over the world in different languages, that are watching these videos and getting the understanding. It says their line is going out throughout all the earth, right? You have, you have these different. Well, even now they have signals that you don't even need wires. You have wireless. It says, and their words to the end of the world, right? And all the way over here in America and all the way over to the other side of the world, Oh, the brother said he's one of them in Japan. Hey, Rakate Al Bashem Al Shai. Shalom to you, brother. It says, in them have he set a tabernacle for the sun. Tabernacle is a house. Sun is what? Wisdom. A man's wisdom maketh his face to shine. That's the sun. The wisdom. And Esau's wisdom is his impediment. A wise man said that to me. The brother know who he is. Which is as a bridegroom coming out of his chamber, which is Yahweh Shai, and rejoices as a strong man to run a race. His going forth is from the end of the heaven. And his circuit, because it's a circuit. The circuit, it's a circuit, right? The unicorn, the internet, it's a circuit. It's doing the heavy lifting, like Elder Apostle Gabar always says. It's a circuit. And it's a continuous cycle that's playing day and night, day and night, day and night, day and night. Why? Because the Lord wants his word to go out there. He wants, his talents to be pushed out there. Because the more this word gets pushed out there, the more it brings this devil's empire down. This is why they're making it, against the law to speak about certain things. They're eventually going to shut it down. So this is the time to keep pushing until that time comes. It says, his going forth is from the end of the heaven, and his circuit unto the ends of the earth of it. And there is nothing hid from the heat thereof, right? Because the information is out. The cat's out the bag, dude. Inside joke. So let's go back to 2nd Ezra 6:20. And when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, the Lord said he would show signs. There was beginning of it, and there was an ending of it. We'll get that one after. Matter of fact, let me get it now, and then we'll come back to this one. Second Ezra chapter 9 and verse 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. Everything was set up on time. There's an appointed time for everything. And when thou seest, See, it's what? The prophecy speaking. Part of the signs past. So we see in the signs passing, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So we're witnessing the visitation of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai upon the earth. And this is why you have, the internet and all of this information going out worldwide, because we're at the end. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, which we see that happening all over, just because they're not announcing it in the American media doesn't mean it ain't happening. It's happening at a rapid rate all over the place. See, they think that because they have things on the hush hush and silent, that they can't, that the world is not seeing what's going on. But people are watching, they see them, they have alternative medias. It says, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest, even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And this is what we're witnessing right now. The powerful works and the endings and effects and signs. So what the Lord is doing is he's, rolling out or introducing the coming of his son Yahushai through his prophets. See, that are out here pushing, the envelope on Yahushai's coronation that's about to happen, the marriage supper of the Lamb. And that's why all of these things are happening. And that cannot happen until everything that is written is fulfilled. Just like when Yahushua was on the cross and he went through everything that he had to go through, he said, what? It is finished. Once this devil rolls out this M.O.T.B, the microchip, fully, that's the linchpin. That's that pin that holds a grenade together before it explodes. Once you take that out, it's only a matter of time before that grenade explodes. You see? So that's where we're at with it. So going back to 2nd Ezra 6, right, and 20, it says, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away, when it's finished, shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, the Bible, the truth, the prophets, the breakdown of the scriptures, not that bullshit in the Catholic Church or that bullshit in the Christian church. The true truth, the only truth, the 100% doctrine taught by Great Millstone, affiliate camps. And, you have some of the other camps that do teach truth in the scriptures, but they're missing one major piece of the puzzle, which is the M.O.T.B, which is a microchip, which is a major important part of the prophecy. And without it, you're not going to be able to make it out of here. It says, and they shall see all together. And that's why you're seeing it. And the children of a year old shall speak with their voices. The women with child shall bring forth untimely children of 3 or 4 months old, preemies, and they shall live and be raised up. And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. Are we not seeing that? Are we not seeing people catching hell? The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty. Yeah, because the word is out. Now the words of the Lord are taking effect. Famines, uproars of the people. Right? It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man heareth, they shall be suddenly afraid. Right? Because when the time comes and the destruction comes, people are going to be nervous. And at that time shall friend fight against or fight one against another like enemies. And the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. Because it's a worldwide thing. The earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein. Why? Because the Lord is putting the spirit on this devil to be a tyrant, to be an oppressor. To have people in such a desperate state that they'll tear each other down just to be able to survive. The springs of the fountain shall stand still, and in 3 hours they shall not run. Whosoever remaineth from all these that I have told thee shall escape and see my salvation and the end of your world. That's why the Lord said, because you have kept the word of my patience, I also will keep thee from the hour of temptation, which shall come upon all the world to try them that dwell upon the earth. So now you see the importance of putting in your work and building up your spiritual bank account. So when the time comes, you can withdraw what you need to withdraw so that you, us, all of us can be protected when this time comes. Now, there's going to be somebody elect that's going to be put to death. We don't know who it is. But nevertheless, that's their way, of exalting and praising Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, honoring Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, whoever it may be. We don't know. It could be me, could be, whoever. But at the end of the day, all of the elect are not going to be taken out by this devil. Why? Because they are the elect and they have the mark of the Most High, the Thawah, which is an exemption from judgment, which is a spiritual mark. But Esau's mark is a physical mark because he's a carnal man. And he wants to brand the world. And the men that are received shall see it, the elect, who have not tasted death from their birth, and the heart of the inhabitants shall be changed and turned into another meaning, right? Because the truth is going to be out. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched, and as for faith, it shall flourish, corruption shall be overcome, and the truth, which hath been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And that's what's happening right now. That's why it's speaking, because it was for an appointed time. We didn't cross the threshold of the appointed time, and now it's speaking. It hasn't said everything it's supposed to say yet, but it's in the works. The voice is being heard loud and clear for those that can see. And that's why the whole world is talking about this. You have Noel G, which is an actor, knows about the M.O.T.B being the microseer. So what's wrong with you other camp leaders out there in Israel? So with that, I pray that you brothers and few sisters have been edified. Till the next time I say, Shalom.